Welcome to Masculine Geek, where men gather to discuss life, love, and all things geek. And unlike most YouTube channels, we don't beg for super chats. We don't play cutesy little sound bites. That crap is lame and feminine. We're men swapping notes and gathering together for men talk. We don't whine about politics or trendy red meat topics. That's juvenile 13th grade garbage. Masculine geeks are men of courage and honor that gather together to discuss our hobbies and interests. Get on board, gentlemen.
All right, welcome to a MG Friday Night Rogue broadcast. This is a mini painting with, well, Rollo's suspiciously absent at the moment, but we do have Thor. So welcome, Thor.
Skull.
Welcome, AJ.
Thank you for inviting me.
Robert. Absolutely. And how is everybody doing?
I'm living the dream. Don't you know, kid?
Absolutely.
I'm doing fantastic.
So we're going to sit here and you're going to what with who?
I said I'm doing fantastic tonight.
Good. So we're going to dive right in here. We each have things that we're working on. We can talk about that or just go ahead and continue painting and getting our figures ready. But AJ, you just picked up a decent amount of figures from 40K, did you not?
Yeah, both the 40K current storyline and Horus Heresy storyline.
Okay, cool.
Do you have a preference?
Right now, where both narratives are, I actually enjoy, like the current 40K timeline and the way the Horus Heresy went down. I like both.
Sounds good.
What are you doing, Robert?
Actually, Mictobus was talking to AJ about us playing with dolls tonight, so in honor of him, I got a couple of my bootleg Saint Seiya models from China.
Oh wow!
That I figured I might build up one of those while we're hanging out, and so I'm just deciding which one I'm going to build.
All right, that's cool. And Thor, you just picked up some.
I did. I just picked
some
up
figurines.
Yeah, rather than show the figurines, I just now started to take a look at Warhammer 40K lore. I didn't know anything about it, but Rollo kind of pushed me in that direction, and I started to look at it. And of course, immediately once I started to pick up some of the lore, I wanted to form my own faction called Adepticus Fornicatus, which I think is appropriate considering my background. So I've got 3 little miniatures here that need to be assembled. And yeah, I'm looking for a little bit of peaceful enjoyment doing that and possibly exploring the lore. Rollo's going to come out. He said he's going to come out next month to visit. So he wanted to do something. We have one of those Warhammer stores, so he's kind of into it. So I said, yeah, why not, man? We'll just
that'll
look at
be
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to be painting this, finishing up this were rat. So
now, is this a standard were rat that you might find in AD&D, or is this some kind of?
It is. It's pretty much a standard were rat in a thieving garb. He's got his tunic and his boots on, and he's crouched over in a very hostile manner, very aggressive manner. So, which is what you can expect from a were rat when he's been interrupted in doing his debauchery.
Right.
So I got to put some highlights on him and figure out how I want to do a straight color across the board or blend them based on his color tunic. I'll probably do.
Do you blend your own colors when you're doing this?
Sometimes I'll do a straight up solid color. But if I want something lighter and I don't have it, I'll add another little bit of white to it or something else, or gray or what have you.
Oh yeah. Do you like to set up your lighting when you're painting in a particular manner so that you get the right look when you're painting, or is it kind of a feel thing?
It can be a bit of a feel. It depends on whether or not I have natural lighting as a background or a foreground, or if the room is dark like it is now. I have this overhead light. It's actually a magnifier as well, so I can see when I do this raccoon. I got to get in real close around his eyes and such. But if I'm in the dark with this just one light, I have it facing away from me a little bit and pointed down, so I can get shadows where I need them. But also I can also see the detail when I pitch it forward or backwards.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Well, dropping all my paints. Hey, what's up, Nick? Got some weird fuzz on him. He's been sitting here for a while. He's got some fuzz on him. Let me remove that. It's a fuzzy were rat. So AJ, how long has it been since the last time you painted?
Probably 20 years.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So this is literally the first time I've touched paint, besides like painting walls and stuff, or painting the hole in the ship, but like painting for like art, 20 years probably.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we could inspire you.
I'm gonna say, Vince, we got a super chat.
No, we don't.
We did.
Well, Thor's got a super chat.
Well, yeah.
Oh, do I?
No.
Yeah,
Thor,
right there.
Thor, go ahead.
Pay attention.
Thor, go ahead and read that.
All right. Let me get set up with my natural voice.
CGD, $1.99. Wow. Thor and AJ stole Odin. Thank you, CGD.
Yeah, so I haven't painted a miniature, I believe, since the late 70s or 80s. But I do paint. I did paint until 16 years ago. With real oils and acrylics.
Okay.
And then I transitioned to Photoshop for commercial reasons and a online gift shop that I was designing for as a side gig. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Painting's wonderful. I love charcoal, vellum, but it's quite a messy endeavor. And I have gifted all of my artwork to my daughter, all of my arts and art supplies. So stuff gets expensive, especially when you start doing the Bob Ross stuff. Are you guys still young enough not to use magnifiers on those things?
It depends on the detail. Like I said, this little raccoon, when I finish up the detail around his eyes, I'm going to need the magnifier. And then there's this I was just telling AJ, this Baldur's Gate mini. His name is Minsk. I think he's a barbarian or a fighter. And he has a sidekick on his shoulder. It's hard to see. It's a hamster. And it's the size of a speck. So
I see. So you'll have to probably use a single hair.
I'm gonna, pretty one or two hairs of the brush, absolutely. So I'm really going to need the magnifier for that.
Yeah, so you're going to paint the texture is what you're going to do too, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That'll be so cool.
If I can, we'll see.
You will.
I've not that I've lost my touch, but I've had to come back into it because I started painting in 87, 88, and I continued up until the early aughts.
Yeah.
But it had been a while for myself, so.
Yeah. When I was a little kid in the 70s, we used to get these models called Revell kits. Have you heard of those?
Oh, yeah. I used to love those.
You get World War II airplanes and tanks. Yep. And you could really get into painting and spraying, and you could spray flames on them. And
oh yeah, I used to build the Bismarck, the Yamato, all that good stuff. Yeah, I remember that shit.
I think I had one of the Saturn V too, a smaller one. That was really cool. Of course, ultimately, as a man ages and a boy ages, firecrackers and hairspray with lighters comes into play with an 8mm camera.
Right.
And of course, some green army men. and some monofilament wire.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. The dry brushing here. Too much on that one side of his collar. May have to go back with the green. We'll see. Yeah, I fucked that up. That's all right. I'll leave it. Got his teeth pretty good. Bucktooth bastard. Some of the highlights on his back. Kind of hard to see. What do you start with first, AJ?
Say again.
What are you starting with first?
I'm starting with the Horus Heresy era Dark Angels faction. So
Okay.
that's mainly black.
And that's the one you've got primed.
Yeah, and I just did a base coat of the same that it is the primer.
Okay.
Primer was through a little cheap airbrush.
Gotcha. Yeah, we were talking about that in text about the airbrush versus the spray can.
Rattle can.
Rattle can, yeah. I'm a rattle can man myself. Not to say that if I tried an airbrush, I wouldn't like it.
It's kind of convenient.
It seems like it. Absolutely. I mean, I was busting on it, but it seems like it's highly convenient. Let's get these rocks here. A little bit of highlights. We've got our AD&D mini painting ASMR going here. Put you right to fucking sleep.
Got any happy little trees?
We don't have happy little trees, but we've got hostile little were-rats. I gotta make sure I do not dunk my brush in my drink like I did last time. Like that went right in the wine.
Oh.
That was horrible. Fortunately, I was almost finished with the wine, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, at least it wasn't the denatured alcohol you took a sip of.
Oh, that would have been really, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
Spit that shit right out. All right, so he's, let him dry. I think I'm pretty much done. Well, maybe some detail on his face. I got his red eyes and his white buck tooth. Did anyone ping Rollo?
No, you want me to?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
No, I can.
Fucking slacker.
Right. Let me get these magnifiers out of here.
All right. Now I think I'll tackle this raccoon while the were-rat is drying. I think a photo of a raccoon sitting so I can get some good color images.
All right, I just pinged him.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, I got a good raccoon there. That bastard. There's his face. That's good. So the white around. All right, there's black Around the face is white. All right, so there we go. I'm going to use this lawful white. I do have a spray booth set up. I take it outside with the cardboard and spray that shit out there. It just harkens back to my old painting days of my youth, so that's why I enjoy the spray can. And it makes a nice rattle. This is a color primer. This is, what color is this? Skeleton Bone.
Oh.
Primer, yeah. And then I usually follow up with a matte finish. Just to protect it. Because most of the stuff that I do paint, it's not bad. It looks pretty good. It's got some decent detail and some depth. But I want them to be good use for play when I'm playing the game on the tabletop. So I want them to hold their color for a while.
I watched some guys play Warhammer on the tabletop of this local store. I was a little confused. I got to admit, I wasn't familiar with the method of play. But it appeared interesting, you know.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah, once you learn the rules, and you get them down, you play it a few times, and they start to become familiar. Yeah, and you get more comfortable with it. You'll have a blast.
Yeah, it won't be like at the pool hall. I'll have to use more of my brain, which I really have to do.
Right?
I only got half of it left, so we got to use every bit of it.
You have a legitimate excuse. We can't. There's no excuse for other people.
Well, you know, Vince, when I came out of surgery, I just had this burning desire. After you removed half that brain, you know, Biden was just so appealing to me. I just wanted to carry a banner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get that opened up. These things. All right, let's close that back up. White.
Hey, Chris, I don't know if that was the old world. I'm not sure what you're asking.
All right, let's see. What brush am I going to use? These army painters are. Oh, this one might be good. Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, I had to move things around.
That's all right. We're glad you're here, you son of a bitch.
I got a super echo from you.
From me?
Somebody's echoing.
That's not me. I've got headphones on.
Same.
It's probably you with your echo cancel. You got your echo cancellation on again.
Oh no, I have it off actually. I have it on.
Yeah. No,
is it better now?
Yes.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Echo cancellation. You turn it off and it doesn't echo. You turn it on and it does echo.
I think it's backwards. Yeah.
I know.
StreamYard. Yeah.
StreamYard has some problems.
They do. I just picked up this Rodecaster Duo, a little tiny thing for the studio. Oh boy.
That's
first
cool,
time I ever had audio equipment that was like problem free.
Yeah.
Plugged it in, it just worked.
I have the one that's the
Pro.
I have the Pro. Well, it's not the second one. It's the one before that. It was the first one they cut out. I have that.
Yeah.
And I have it at my studio in Reno.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's trouble free. Like there's actually absolutely nothing, you can do to screw it up basically. So I bought another one for the home studio here in Vegas.
Yeah. I have one of my old, but it's too big for this ball hall studio is super tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you painting?
I'm trying to glue my figures together without proper glue.
You need plastic glue.
I know. I'm afraid I'm going to.
You already knew that.
I didn't realize it until I got setting here. But I got What's going on? I got some background.
I've got background music playing.
Let me mute. Is it me?
No, you're fine. I have background music playing. That's fine.
He's being spicy.
Okay, somebody else.
I've got official D&D music playing.
That's what you need right there. You need Mr. Cement for plastic model.
Here you go. I got these.
Mr. Cement, this is true. You guys really like this.
Cement. Cement shoes.
Yeah, accidents happen to you guys.
Infernus Marines. I got Infernus Marines.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know.
Shit.
Not realizing I had to glue them together until right now.
Yeah, that's half the fun, though. I consider that's part of the hobby.
We're just talking about that. Thor was mentioning the Revel models.
Mm.
Yeah, loved them, man. Especially lighting them on fire.
Lighting them on fire.
I do have my magnifier, so dug them out.
Yeah, I have a very stripped down set here.
What you got?
Stuff.
Is that your little wood stand there, Rollo?
Yeah. This is I got this from. God, where did I get this from? I think I got it from like one of these online hobby places. But it's cool because it's like if I'm doing like one figure at a time, it's great. If I'm doing like 10, then not so much.
Yeah, but I see the brush brace. I mean, that's real Bob Rossi right there. That's cool.
Yeah, Bob Rossi.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in another life, I never explained, but I was a painter, and so when Aaron tagged me with that, it really tickled me. But that's really cool. You can get your single hairs in there, do your textures like that.
Yeah, and then I got this little mag light right here, and then I just got a little overhead that's right here. Just it's a stripped down version of what I have at the Reno house.
Uh-huh.
All my good stuff is at Reno right now. I just got like basics just so I had something to do when I'm here, So otherwise I'll be insane.
Well, you were right.
Yeah,
it is a good distraction. I went to the Warhammer store.
Yeah, it's good to have hobbies that like last a lifetime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm a little physically limited right now, so it's really good.
I figured it would give you something to think about.
Yeah, I got to exercise that last half of my brain.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's all good though.
I got these bad boys right here.
What is it?
They're like the really super high scale artist stuff. I brought these from Reno actually. This is what I usually use when I'm painting stuff. But like they go all the way from a single, like a 1, all the way to a triple lot.
Triple lot, yeah.
That bad boy. Really small shit. But they're like that. They're natural hair. They're like, I don't know, weasel hair or some shit like that. And
weasel hair.
Yeah. This is actually a gift that was given to me by these guys a long time ago when I was painting. I didn't realize how great the brushes were until recently because I never opened it up. I was just like, I'll just take that with me to Vegas.
Shoot, I'm gonna have to. I would like to see some of your work, all you guys.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I'm working on this guy right now. This is just pick something out of my box here just to get my chops back up again. But like I was working on, I'm actually thinking about putting together a Space Wolf army too. So I got these guys, and I brought some of this stuff from Reno, but just what I thought would be fun to.
How you fitting in there in Vegas? You comfortable with your new place?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm almost too comfortable actually.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's an interesting transition, but.
How long have you been in Vegas already?
We got here March 1st, so about 2 months now. Yeah.
Okay. Getting settled in.
A little more. Yeah. It's good. It's all right. It's good. It's good. I'm actually thinking about making a permanent move here.
All right.
Because right now I have my place in Reno, and then I'm renting this place, but the place in Reno I own, so I would have to sell that place to like really move all, wholesale, get everything down here. But
could you rent it? Could you rent it?
I suppose I could.
Airbnb it or something.
If I rent it, I might as well just leave it where it's at because my mother-in-law is actually taking care of the place for us right now. So she has a free place to live as long as she just watches over my 5-bedroom house in freaking Reno. So.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I have done that with a few homes, and having that and then going down like I went down what a godsend to have those things rolling on you with rents.
Yeah, the properties. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a good kind of a backup plan for sure. I mean, it is a pain. I just use a management company though, so it's kind of problem free, you know. But yeah, just depends. Depends how much equity you got in it, and if you owe, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It would just be. I mean, I probably could still sell for profit, but like I would have to.
Sure.
I'd have to really like consider like. I gotta think hard about like actually doing it. So.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it's not the selling, it's the actual. Dude, I hate fucking moving. I really hate moving.
Oh, it's a pain.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And then you finally realize how much shit you have.
Yeah. Well, it's not even some. I know. Trust me. I know how much shit I have. So that's why it's a pain in the ass. Like I don't even
it's quadrupled when you actually have to move it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can see it and go, oh yeah, I have this, I have that. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. But when you go to actually physically pick it up and move it, you're like, fuck this.
Yeah, and I'm the only one that can do it too, because like, well, my wife is certainly not as strong as I am, and then of course what happens is along the way you always get this. Do you really need this? Does this really need like don't like this is my shit. I don't go to you and go, do you really need all these shoes? Do you really need all? I don't say that to you. And it's like, do I need it? No, I don't need. Quite honestly, I don't even need most of the shit in this house, and there's not a lot here. But it's like, do I want it? Yes, I fucking want it. I am in no way like Aaron Clary is all about minimalism. Oh, I am like the anti-minimalist.
That's so funny. I think that conversation goes on all across the nation.
Yeah, and that's why I hate like half the reason. Well, and then it's not even my wife. It's like if you have movers. Yeah. And they're like, why the fuck am I moving this? Who needs this shit? It's like, just fucking move this stuff, all right? Just shut up and I'm paying you to move this.
Do your job.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, for sure. I hate moving. I'm not going to move, really. I don't think so.
All right.
Not unless I have to.
Not anytime soon. But I told, I'm looking at places here, and the minute I start considering like making a permanent move, that's when my wife starts sending me all these links on Zillow. And I'm like,
she's excited.
I'm like, that's like her hobby is to like look for houses that we could be at, that we could go to. I'm like, my God, it's and then of course
you gotta start giving her other homework.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then like. There's a time I thought we were going to move to Florida. Like we were going to go to because I wanted to be closer to like the podcast things that were going on in like South Florida, right? But I didn't want to live in Miami, and Fort Lauderdale is like so high rent. It's like next to impossible for anybody to live there these days. So I was looking at the Gulf side, and I started looking at Cape Coral over there. And I was like, oh, maybe I could go to Cape Coral. And I kept going. My wife would find a house, and then she'd fall in love with the house. And I'd be like, okay, this is good. Let's make an offer on it. And then we get like, somebody would swoop out, they would offer like a full offer plus like 20%. And so we simply couldn't compete with like all of the investment property people that were.
All the BlackRock agents.
Yeah, all the BlackRock agents, exactly, that were coming in to snap up all these properties, right?
You got.
Yeah, and so we did that with like 4 or 5 properties. But the process is, my wife would find a place, she'd fall in love with it, and then she would like move in her head. Like we're already
she's all ready to go. Yeah,
she's all ready to go. This is what the color of the curtains are going to be, and then we need carpet, so here's the carpet. And I'm just like, don't fall in love with these places because we're going to end up probably not moving here. And then, of course, what happens is like later on, because this is in 2022, and then in the fall of 2022 is when the hurricane ripped through there and like tore up like Fort Myers and Cape Coral. And I'm like, I guess we're staying in Reno.
Reno's a nice place. I've only been by there one time, but you know what Vegas is too, man.
Yeah,
I live in the same desert.
There's there is some pluses, some definite advantages to living that have nothing to do with even like my business opportunities here.
Yeah,
but there's some definite advantages to living here.
Are you close to the gym? Are you close to the gym, Rollo?
Yeah, well, yes, not as close as I used to be at the other place, but
Yeah, I like the other place. Yeah.
but I go to I just got the membership at Powerhouse in
Oh, so you're with
Vegas.
with
So I've been there, and then like yeah, so Hide Yamagishi's been working out with me like ever since I did that one
his wife is
show.
so sweet. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
love
and
her.
and I wanted to I'm gonna probably have him on the show again because I did that one interview with him before,
Yeah.
and
You know she's
so
like an 8-time Miss Olympia.
yeah, I know it trips me out too. She wants to be on the show. I told her, said, yeah, you can be on the show. So you can.
She's so
They're
fun.
gonna put you through the ringer, but yeah.
She's so friendly. I was just working out, just having fun.
Iris, yeah.
Yeah, and she comes over there and started chatting, and we just chatted up and started working out together. It was so cool.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing about both of them. Like, I know when Hide is going to be there because he's usually there in the morning when I'm there.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's my workout partner, but he kind of is because when I get there, you know, if I'm doing something, if it's like shoulders day and it's shoulders day for him, then like we'll work out together.
Yeah.
Just so he can sort of bullshit. And then he'll like, you know, he'll say, okay, let's go do this. Or he'll give me ideas for exercises that like I wouldn't necessarily think to do. Yeah. And man, that gym is so well stocked. They have everything there. Like they have a pendulum squat machine there. It does one thing. It just destroys your quads. That's all it does.
And it saves your back.
It saves your back. Man, it just I couldn't believe and you know that machine it's bloody expensive and it does one thing. Yep. Yeah. makes you cry.
they had a reverse hyper there, which I was really impressed. Most gyms don't. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that place. It's stuff when people go, "Oh man, you're getting yoked, dude." I'm like, "Yeah, well, it helps that I can like work out with the IFBB World Bodybuilding Champion from 2023."
Exactly. Oh yeah, for sure. You know, that's a big deal too. I just started my workout 2 days ago. First time I could. Mm-hmm. I made 18 minutes. 18 minutes was the best I could do.
Hey, that's something.
One exercise, and I was winded, you know, just from weights. Mm-hmm. So at least I really don't have clearance until Monday. But you know, I stopped the damn radiation more than a week ago. What the hell?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
Yep. So we're gonna try to get that energy back by the time you get out here too, so we can do something cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna as soon as they give us a date for Tom Billu, we're supposed to do Tom Billu, Billu.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably be like the third week of May or like the last week of May.
You know what? No worries, man. There's no rush. Shit, I'm just sitting here trying to get my energy back. No worries. The longer the better, because you know maybe we can go do something really cool.
She said.
The thicker
that's right. That's what we're all about here on Masculine Geek is
Keith has longer.
Ticking fart jokes.
Rollo, I can't imagine you want to not have the Cartwrights as your neighbors anymore, leaving Reno.
Cartwrights? What do you mean?
Bonanza? Ponderosa?
Oh yeah.
Your neighbors, the Ben Cartwright and the boys.
Yeah, that's funny. I've been to that ranch before in Lake Tahoe.
All right, that's cool.
That's where they used to shoot. That was the series Bonanza was at Tahoe.
Yeah.
Where the fuck?
It did. Michael Landon, right?
Yeah. Yep. Ancient history.
Yeah.
It's a shadow wash. I don't need that. Where's the fucking black?
Dude, I fielded so many questions about like Warhammer last week.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, you've done it the last 2 weeks on your Sunday show. You've been getting Warhammer questions.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can find time for that now that you're a domestic terrorist on the terror watch list and have one major political party like spending money to financially
take me down.
destroy you.
Yes, they're coming after me, man.
That's awesome. I have never been so proud to be your acquaintance as I am now that you're an enemy of the state.
It's a good thing I moved to Vegas because, like, I'd probably be on a no-fly list right now.
Yeah.
and the neocon Christians hate him too.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like he's like a man without a country.
Yes. I'm the most dangerous motherfucker in the world.
The Red Pill Messiah.
I'm the most dangerous man alive. They must really be afraid of me to pull all this. Well, I can't say that because Aaron Clary is on that same list too. And boy,
he's on a bunch of other lists that we can't name.
Yeah,
they do need bad guys. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
somebody's got to get paid.
Yeah.
Even minor bad guys. They need bad guys. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was telling Ryan Stone and everybody. I said, once November 6th rolls around, the board gets cleared again because, like, right now, this is all hella important. And everybody's getting paid until the election is over. And now suddenly, oh, sorry, we don't have any more DHS funds to give you for your fucked up NGO anymore. Right? And so
it's not just that, right? Everybody's chasing that dollar. Watch any Which any of the weird podcasts going on right now. Boy, it's chase the dollar.
Well, it's the thing that's getting me right now is that it's like this game of escalation. Now.
Yeah.
And it's like who can out Myron? That's basically what it's come down to. Like how
it's so true.
Like, Myron isn't extreme enough. We have to make the girls cry within the first 5 minutes of the show, or it's not going to go viral, right? And I'm just like, that's never been what we've been like. Certainly, me and Mike have never been about. But then, of course, everybody said, like, we're either too, like, we get lumped in with all these guys who are, like, super extreme. And then we go, no, that's really not what our show's about. And until everybody sort of loses their minds over, the association between us and, oh, you guys had Myron and Fresh on there, so you must be one of those bro podcasts. And I'm like, no, not in the same vein.
Oh, freaking Friends, man. That's like...
Yeah, well, I mean, we're trying to
They don't understand the concept of Friends.
It's so straight. I mean, they don't understand. I mean, it's been years now. Everybody started out as just Friends. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I think that a lot of interests like Rumble right now, Rumble is buying out a lot of people right now. I mean, really, like, I think Myron and Fresh we're just the tip of the iceberg, but like, they approached us. They wanted us to sell. They will sell out, basically sell out. But Rumble is paying Myron Fresh quite a bit of money to have exclusive access because they know that the tapes are going away. They know that they're not going to be the flagship moneymaker that they've been for so long.
I don't think they can if they're even stuck in that limbo for long. They can't.
Well, once the trial starts, they're done. I mean, even if they got off scot-free, they're still out of the picture for months on end.
Yeah, it's one of those cases where once the bell's rung, you can't unring it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're going to jail. They're going to jail either in Romania, the UK, or the United States. There are three countries that have all kinds of indictments against them. Yeah. One way or another, they're going to prison, and I think people really need to start wrapping their heads around that.
It reminds me a lot, even though it might not be parallel, but it reminds me a lot of what they did with Julian Assange. They really got mad, and there's no charges, but he's going to jail no matter what. And guess where he is? He's in jail.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these guys, there's so much, like the very fact that they did, they have them dead to rights on witness intimidation, right? That's actually the American charges because they had the guy who's their boy come out here and basically try to strong arm some of the people. Sorry, but that's actually a federal offense in the United States. So guess what? Now we have a case against you.
Yeah, and the feds are tough, man. They've got a 99% conviction rate. Talk to Myron. It's like it's stacked.
They'll get them. If Romania doesn't get it, honestly, I think the whole thing about the sex trafficking is just what they're using to hold them. I think they're probably going to go down for money laundering or something. Like they're going to get them for financial. It wouldn't be taking this long if it was just
it's basically an Al Capone move.
Yeah. Well, they're holding them with the sex trafficking charges, but they will get them for for money laundering or criminal organization or God knows what
tax
else.
evasion or something.
Find or
tax evasion too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, they played every single angle, and I don't know. I think they just started believing their own bullshit and thinking that they're bulletproof, and came back and bit them.
I don't know them well enough to say that, but yeah,
No.
I mean, it's a good assessment.
I know them well enough to say that because I think what people tend to forget is that like I've been dealing with these guys since 2017.
Right.
So I'm pretty well aware of how they are, but.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, nobody's questioning that. I just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
My involvement with them has been super limited. In fact, it's only been limited to Tristan, actually.
Yeah.
I've never met them.
Yeah.
Never personally. Yeah.
And you probably never will now.
Probably no.
Yeah. I have a feeling they will go.
Pretty good. Not from the dry.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, you may be right. I mean, who knows? At least, I guess we're on the same list now, Rollo.
Yeah.
We're on the same damn list, so we better get ready.
Yeah. I know. FBI.
Did you pay your taxes this year? Yes.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
I claim my crypto too.
I pay my taxes quarterly. So, which quarter would you like to see, sir?
Thank you, sir. Can I pay another? Can I pay another?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be glad when this election's over. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know.
It's consumed every bit of space, just about taking the breath out, the oxygen out of the rooms.
Oh, we're just getting started, man. It's the month of May. We're like 5 months out, so it's like time. It's like almost this is go time for everybody.
Yeah. Hey, Rollo, I have a hypothesis that's probably totally wrong, but I want to get your take on it. I have a friend that's Chinese, and there's a super good person, but, there is this phenomenon going on in China that's interesting to look at, and I started thinking about it, and maybe this is the brain surgery talking, but there's 100 million leftover women over 30.
Yellow turtles.
Should send them over here.
Now, here's the thing.
Giggity.
When you listen to them talk and they speak and complain, the complaints sound like feminism, like they've been trained in feminism, that they go to school, they get their degrees, they get their jobs, all of this, and now no man will have them. They can't have a family, and they're distraught. However, after talking to real Chinese people, it may not be as much feminism as we might assume, because the outcome seems exactly like what's going on with women here in the West, but there's a big difference. Most of those girls are the results of a one-child policy. And because of the family tradition there, at least my friend thinks that because of that, they have to become the son that the family never had.
Oh, yeah. Well, you might be right.
And then the end result is exactly the same as masculizing that young woman.
But it's like by necessity rather than
yes. I put your thinking cap on. We can talk about it some other time, but I just had that conversation in the last week or two. I'm like, no shit, that might be the same outcome.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense. I mean, I can understand the logic to it. Whether or not, I mean, it might be a combination of two. It might be out of necessity because there's just I was gonna say there's been such an offset. There's too many dudes in China, right? Because that was what was most sort of economically advantageous during the one child policy times.
Right.
Well, also that's partially cultural. It's preferable as a Chinese man to have a son than a daughter. So I mean, there's that, and also when you factor in Marxist ideology,
there you go.
There's not any difference really between Marxist ideology and feminism if you get right down to it. But so I could definitely see that as a combination of factors. But I also think the idea of if you only have the one child and this one child is a daughter, well, they have to be the son you never had in some way. So I definitely see how it could be a combination of things.
Yeah, and of course the Chinese friend, very anti-feminist, but they don't. A lot of them don't like that, but the end result appears very similar, and they end up being, past the wall and complaining about the same things exactly. And it just, I never even thought about it until I had that conversation. I went, that's an interesting take on it, because over there, that only child has to take care of the elderly parents. There's this huge commitment that is a cultural thing that we kind of don't sustain here like that. Anyway.
Well, no, because it's part of, you put your old folks in the home, and the destruction of the family here in the West. I mean, it wasn't that long ago to me. I mean, it was my childhood that I'm watching a show like The Waltons, and The Waltons wasn't. Well, The Waltons was fictionalized. It was not based on pure fiction, and for a lot of families, especially rural families, living on a farm with 3 or 4 generations in the house was not uncommon. It was very practical and had benefits above and beyond just financial.
Yeah, it's worth looking at.
I wonder how that tracks with other Asian nations, though. Like if you look at, like, say, the Taiwanese, or like Korea as well, because Korean women, like South Korean women, anyways, are like some of the most sort of like feminist wokesies you're probably ever going to encounter, at least in Asia. Anyways.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be worth looking at for sure. For a
you would definitely have to make comparisons to that. But yeah, I mean, I understand the logic behind it. It sounds like it's sound, but like I would also have to include sort of the importation of Western feminism too. So that might have played a factor and amplified it, but it was already aggravated by the one-child policy.
Right.
It's a possibility.
I could definitely see that because of their social Marxism. It would fit right in, but.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would have.
Such as it is, I tell you what's funny is like when people talk about how like Chinese are like socialists or Marxists and stuff like that. Yeah, I get it, but it's like we're so far beyond like what classical, like basically they're a capitalist society that pretends to be a Marxist socialist society, and it's just the ruling party wants to stay in power, and it's not really communism. It's just,
that's true. They call us Chinafornia, so we're good.
It's capitalism with a veneer of socialism on top of it. Meanwhile, everybody's starving in the streets and they're like eating their cats and dogs.
That's true. They had a lot of infrastructure issues there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I talk about that with Mike all the time because Mike knows a lot about like geopolitics and stuff because he's like former military. Right. And every time somebody tries to press Mike on like, oh, China's going to invade Taiwan, and oh my God, the America's not prepared. We got fat kids in the military and blah blah blah. And Mike's like, he's like, that will never happen. And I'm like, really? Because up until I met Mike, I was sort of ignorant to all this. He goes, yes, because of the A1 Abrams tank, the stealth bomber, and he just runs down all of this list of ordnance that the United States has. And you got to remember that China hasn't been in an actual like military engagement since World War II. And, they pretty much got their asses handed to them during that time, too.
Right. A lot of it's for show. Right.
Yeah. They've never the modern Chinese military right now is completely untested. Right. They look like they've got a lot of good technology, and they probably do. Right. I mean, if Iran is sending, unmanned drones over into Israel, it's just as easy as like sending stuff like that. But like when it comes down to it, are the Chinese are they really ready to fight?
Oh, I imagine they have the drones. I was just watching a YouTube where here at the stadium they had Wars night, and they had almost 4,000 drones in the air.
Yeah.
And the coordination was unbelievable. If they can coordinate those drones for a show like that at night, that is one scary proposition in a war.
One of the things I get into with these guys is like whenever people hate this, especially now, because whenever I'm talking to trad cons, I get this question all the time, like, Rollo, when is the pendulum gonna swing back to the good old days, like, Father Knows Best and Leave It to Beaver, and in the 50s? When are women gonna like finally, fall in line and get back in the kitchen? Blah, 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 blah. And of course, they want to say, well, because as soon as the first war breaks out, the little ladies are gonna go right back to being June Cleaver. It's like, no, dumbass. There is no there is no fucking pendulum, because all bets are off in the next fucking war, because
the cake is a lie.
Well, you guys,
the cake is a lie. Give me that portal gun. Where's that portal gun?
when you guys, you guys are all history buffs, right? Remember in like World War I, when all the kids, I don't know if you've seen, what is it? They shall not grow old, I think is what it was. Is that the name of that documentary? Or I forget which one it is. Maybe it's like 1914, I forget the name of the movie.
Somewhere around
but
there.
there's stuff, but they always, I know what it was. It was All Quiet on the Western Front. They had the remake of that. Holy shit.
That was a tearjerker, man. That's
it is. And it was a horrifying movie. But like those kids on all sides, on the French, the United States, UK, Germany, dude, they thought it was going to be just some kind of like couple of months, 6 months in, and they're going to go fight like their grandfathers did back in the Napoleonics, and like ride in on a fucking horse with a saber and shit like that. And then they met the first 50 caliber machine gun, and it just in an industrial scale. And that's why I keep saying, I said, the next, like, don't be so eager for a war, guys, so girls will go back to being real women, right? Like, because that 50 caliber machine gun is going to come in the form of a drone that's going to kill you and not even like move on to the next motherfucker. That's all it's going to be. You think
there's not even a chance for you to show valor. You're just going to be shot from.
You're just getting, it's just a process. It's just like industrialized murder is what it is.
Yeah.
And so those kids, when they met the first 50 caliber machine gun and it just mowed them down on an industrial scale, that's kind of what you're going to be looking at in the next, real serious engagement that we have.
Yeah.
And there ain't going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be Rambo. We're going to go hide, create traps and punji pits and shit in Vietnam. No, you're just going to die. You're just going to die, pretty much. I mean, the first.
Yeah. You guys have seen Black Mirror. You guys saw Metalhead, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Metalhead.
You have something like that show up. I've seen video where the back opens up and you get stuff the size of these miniatures, flying out the back on the battlefield, followed by a master drone. And they each have 3 grams of explosive with a conical copper warhead. And you can't even see them, and they spread out and they target the individuals, and you don't even know it. It's like, oh my god,
they're flèche launchers is what they are.
They just the drone lands on you, and poop, you're done. It's like there's 1,000 come out. It's like, oh no, that's not even good. That's really horrifying. That's really, really horrifying.
Well, there's it's horrifying because like I feel like John Fitch always talks about like robot murder dogs and stuff, and it's like. He's not wrong, not wrong, but the funny thing is like there's more efficient ways to kill you than a robot murder dog with a flamethrower.
Biologically, biologically over time.
Well, I made this. I think now it's almost like
fake
safe.
Disease.
Well, exactly. Well, it's one of the observations I made when COVID came out was it looks to me like it is a low yield biological weapon.
Oh,
that's all it is, and here we are, and even the vaccine was also a low yield biological weapon.
Still is,
and now we're learning the hard. Now we're in the real school.
Yeah, not the only one launched at it psychologically too to keep those birth rates down.
Dude, I still see people riding their bikes around Las Vegas with a fucking mask on.
Oh, it's the same here.
It's the same.
I'm like,
DFW.
What?
Oh yeah, it's here in Jersey too.
Remember that one scene in like Close Encounters where he takes off his gas mask and goes, "There's nothing wrong with the air."
Yeah,
that's a great scene.
Am I the only one that thought of that one?
No.
My mind immediately went there. I'm like, Richard Dreyfuss knew.
Nothing's wrong. Take your mask off. No, you'll die. No, there's nothing wrong with the air.
Right.
God.
Who the hell are you people?
Although I might be inclined to wear a mask on a plane these days, just because there's so many fucking sick motherfuckers that don't take care of themselves, like for in general.
Well, there's
Oh,
that,
I will.
yeah.
I'll wear a respirator just because when I cycle on the chemo, because I basically shut the immune down. So I'm not gonna. It's me. It's not them. You know.
Yeah.
And I also know enough to know you got to cover your eyes if you're really going to be serious. You know?
Yeah. Well, and in this case, it's them, not me, because I don't want their fucking kids like wiping their nose on my fucking face.
Right. Well, no, it's to keep them away from me.
I think that's funny, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah. I know. To keep people away. Now you're like, you wear a mask, like not to actually avoid COVID, but to keep people away from you.
Well, yeah. I appreciate when retards wear masks, and they're just letting me know that they're a retard.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you guys will like my new outfit coming in 3 to 2 weeks. I'll be getting a freaking wild ass array built on top of my head. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have wires everywhere.
You'd be like Adeptus Mechanicus.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm gonna get electromagnetic frequencies beamed in, so for about 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you tell me if you start to talk to aliens? I want to know what they say.
More likely to be talking to the CIA.
I am a slightly below average god amongst men.
Yes. You pick up AM radio from like Arkansas.
Right. Idaho.
Shoot. As long as I'm picking up something, I'm cool with it.
When
I'm doing some armor.
When I every time we get like one of these girls on Access Vegas and they come in with like the woo-woo, Brazilian power crystal shoved up their ass kind of thing. Or they talk about tarot cards or energies and stuff. Like right now, me and Mike, it happens so often. Like Mike we don't even bother trying to counter it anymore because it just happens.
Ignore it.
Yeah, but no, now we lean into it. We go, oh yeah, really? Do you believe in astrology?
Tell us about
do you believe in God? We just lean into it now.
That's funny.
Yeah, so like I'm at the point right now. Like the one thing, like,
and herpes.
I give Mike grief about this because like I go, well, I don't believe in any of that bullshit because I think it's like it's just shit crack, right? And then I say, except I think there are aliens amongst us. And just like, and then Mike gets this like twitch in his eye every time I say that too. He goes, "There are no aliens. there are no UFOs."
I have some books and reports you can read. He'll be a believer.
I know, but he's like, "There's the intergalactic distance. There's no possible way it could possibly happen." Blah blah. And have you guys ever seen The Expanse?
Oh yeah,
I've heard of it.
The series The Expanse.
Oh yeah.
Me and Mike turned me on to that series. It's actually really good. Mm-hmm. I watched like all 6 seasons. I even convinced Missy to watch it with me too.
Amos Burton, buddy.
Amos is he's the best character in there.
Damn right.
But no,
he is that kind of guy.
So our inside joke right now is every time we start talking about aliens, I go, "No, Mike, I got 2 words for you." He's like, "What?" I go, "What is it? Proto molecule." That's how they get here.
We are the aliens.
Yes.
No, Wes Chatham is an actor doing Amos Burton.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. He's not that guy, but I am that guy.
Dude, if we ever got to do, I don't know, a sequel or something to like Aliens with Colonial Marines, that dude needs to be in that movie.
Yeah, he's a cool. He's got his own podcast.
Oh, he does. Amos. What's his real name?
His name is Wes Chatham.
Yeah.
Cool dude.
Mike said he's actually ex-military.
He is, and his podcast is called Ty and That Guy. TY and That Guy, and definitely a cool dude. Yeah, thoughtful. You'll see.
Yeah,
and masculine. Yep.
Yeah, I was so impressed with what's the guy who plays Jack Reacher?
Richardson. Alan.
Yeah, Alan Richardson. Yeah, I thought he was cool, but like apparently he just like really hates his fans because everybody thinks he's like this super like conservative dude.
I don't think he is.
No, he definitely not.
Yeah. Well, he throws some iron though. You can tell.
Oh, that dude. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
I think he's done some podcasts where he talks about what his workout routine is for that role.
That's good.
And how difficult it is too. I mean, he's got to be like 6'4".
Don't know.
He dwarfs all the girls that are on that show, even the guys on that show.
Yeah, he's a good fit for that character for sure.
He's a big dude.
So I lost a total of 11 pounds when I did the DEXA of muscle.
Oh yeah.
So like I said, one muscle group every other day for the next 2 weeks, and then we're gonna move up, try to make sure it hits. Diet wise, I have to stick to keto or carnivore because I got to keep the sugars down. So that'll make it a little bit of a challenge. But if I can just get the energy back, that'll be good.
Yeah. I imagine you get tired.
That's the worst part because it slows everything down like by 25%. Can you imagine thinking 25% slower?
Yeah. It's funny you should say that. I have a friend of mine who had cancer, and I want to say it was internal. I forget what it was, but he'd gone through he only went through one round of chemo, and he was just like, he's like, I don't know if I could do this again. It's tough.
They warned me, and they said a lot of them can't do it, and I actually didn't have any side effects from the chemo. I was very lucky.
Yeah.
But I get to do it 7 days a month, starting in 5 weeks. So. But we're going to get measured in like 7 weeks. A lot of it really depends on what they've been able to stop. Some of those treatments can come back, which would allow me to build the immune back and actually, be more functional for longer. So that's all cool. I'm looking forward to it. Shit.
Good.
Yeah, everything seems to be working out. So
until then, you could just build more models and start a Space Wolf farm. What are you going to start? Are you going to start a Merman?
I don't know. I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to start with playing with the D&D. I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
I'm going to start painting this, so I have something, and then I'll talk to you about it. I'm not really sure where to go with the lore. I put my toe in and then made a joke, and I'm like, okay, we'll see.
No, man, Thor, I do like your chapter name.
Yeah.
What is it? What was the chapter name?
Adepticus fornicatus.
Fornicatus. Yes. Yeah. It's like a Slinnet. That's like a Emperor's Children lead.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. All this shit going down with like Warhammer, and like they're gonna put like female custodians in.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make the game.
Off, huh?
Doesn't make the game better. Like, why are you doing that? Why you, like? It's not broke. Don't fix it.
Are they actually doing a swap?
No, they're just adding, something that wasn't there before in, because they're really just appeasing the wokezies right now.
They're shoehorning women in just
because I think they're doing it because they don't want to put female Marines in, because that's has been part of the lore for forever.
Well, aren't they doing
so this is kind of like throwing them a bone.
British Parliament passed some DEI thing too. Are they getting ahead of that, possibly?
I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with that thing.
Yeah, I think the British Parliament is doubling down.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Me neither. Boy, that's the one thing, is being a little bit out of corporate America. It's nice not to have to hear all that all the time. There's like mandatory training all the time for that.
Well, I mean, I would love to do an episode with you guys, like on my show, about that shit. Like we could do another pop culture episode like we did that one time.
Sure. I'm always up. I'm not quite ready to start doing my thing yet because of energy, but boy, I look forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'll like doing D&D with us, especially Drew's campaign, because he's he's more your speed. It's like an episode of Vikings.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That sounds really good. Yeah, and if I get stuck on my workouts, I'm actually following his HIT because I'm so weak that it's real. That what he does is really good for elderly people like that. And
for everybody.
Gotta check with, really for everybody.
I do it at work. At the gym at work.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm really fortunate. I got a rather large gym at the house, so.
Yeah, it's convenient to have it there. Yeah,
But I like going to the gyms too for other reasons.
absolutely.
Again, and now you know why I go to Power.
I know.
That's great, man. I mean, it's a bodybuilder gym.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's plenty of NPC bikini competitors in there working out too.
Yeah, that is true. Well, it depends on when you go. I go in the morning, so there's a few in there at that time. But like, yeah, if I went there right now, it probably would be.
They're always so sweet too, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. How do I do this? Show me how to do this.
Show me how to do this shit. Click red, I think.
I'm gonna mute, guys. I'm gonna step off of this and get a drink.
All right. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Dude, I'll tell you that when I got here to Vegas, the game store that's like probably about 5 minutes away from where I live right here, it's fucking great, man. It's very well stocked.
Really?
Very well stocked, and like there's two comic book stores that are about. Like there's one that's just up Fort Apache from where I live. It's pretty great. I like it, and it's a smaller one. And then there's if you look this up, there's a comic book store called Torpedo Comics here. Man, that is a dream fucking come true, man. That place is great in there.
That's cool. They're all within driving distance. Reasonable.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, all those things are probably about 5 minutes away from my place. Hey, are you guys still up? We're still up for RageCon though, right? In June.
Maybe. I have some shit that's come up. I still have my ticket.
Okay. Because I'm going either way. I go there just for the swap meet that's there. You know?
Yeah, chances are, unless things change, no.
Mm-hmm.
But I do still have my ticket in case something changes.
Okay.
I'm sure I can get a hotel room.
Yeah, and the host hotel is Atlantis, which I used to work at, by the way.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Shit. God damn it.
Yeah, so the comic book store here, or excuse me, the game store here is called what is it called? Oh, it's Little Shop of Magic or something like that. But it's not just like Magic. It's like they have the fully stocked Warhammer, area that's nothing but like, I mean, it's 40K. It's also Horus Heresy. It's like all the spin-off games. They are like so well stocked. They got like games in there I never even heard of before.
That's cool. How
makes me wish I had people to play with. Oh, they're fantastic too, and they got like a membership program and everything.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's cool. They have game nights and stuff and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't seen if they have any Warhammer releases. I just haven't had the time to do it, but
yeah,
I would
they
love
probably
to.
do. What are you painting, Rollo?
I'm building some models right now.
Okay.
You guys can see that. I don't have my camera lined up the way I would like it to. Where'd it go? There we go. Yeah, this is like a teeny tiny little place or I got this little art desk for like I think $100 off of Amazon.
Yeah.
Nice.
That serves a purpose.
It works, yeah.
So has Drew done any of his campaign recently, or is he just getting back into it again?
Just kind of getting back into it. We did one game semi-recently, about a month ago. Mm-hmm. I'll probably try to schedule Drew for mid to late May and get Thor up and running. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your character died, right, Rollo?
Yeah, I'd have to make a new one. Me and Thor will have to make new characters.
Good, you can help me out.
Might need a hand with that. Yeah, I don't have any resource material at this point.
We'll
and have it for 35 years.
Yeah, we'll tell you what to pick up. You'll definitely want, especially if you want to play a barbarian, you'll want the unearthed AD&D unearthed arcana. Yeah, so we'll send you links for that.
Yeah, because I'm playing the same thing.
You mean I don't come off as a magic user?
Not really. I mean, you could be like a
I'm not getting magic user vibes from you, man.
Right. Rudy, that
Thor.
one. That's me. That's still my thunder, man.
Magic missile.
I do have these. I do have these
What,
+5 cult magic kinetic energy casting weapons. No, that sounds really fun. Yeah, I remember getting the first box set in the late 70s.
Yeah. I still have mine somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, those originals are nice.
I'm sure Robert has his laying around, just like probably he'd probably go reach over and grab it for you right now.
Yeah, I couldn't even get. I mean, I do have the original Punisher comics. I got a couple of the Swamp Things, the original Conan stuff, and the Dark Horse still left. I gave my stuff to my sons. We played AD&D for about 6 months, and they kind of outgrew it. And of course, we had so much to do. Everybody's so physical, we just couldn't put the time in. But, you know, such is life. And they
do have one or two things lying about, yes.
You guys ever do the Renaissance Fair stuff?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, me too. I used to really like.
I used to do it more than I do now, but I used to do it more when I was
Jersey.
fencing.
Yeah.
And there's
one
fencing here in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Best sword ever created, most deadliest sword, rapier. Nothing can
I used to be in the. I know you want to hear. You want my geek confession? I used to be in the SCA. Wow.
You were in. That's right. You were. Yeah. Society for Creative Anachronism.
Yeah.
Rollo, we have a very similar background.
Busted. Yeah, I know. Well, I used to do rapier combat when it was like in its infancy. Now it's so I don't even recognize what they're doing these days. But like,
well, just the actual weapon, the technology, and the reach. Almost 12 inches above everything else with the most deadly wound carrying capability. Not another sword could hold a candle, including a samurai.
We used to do like when we were trying to integrate. We were trying to integrate like traditional fencing into the SCA, which was basically became rapier combat, what it is right now. They had to do all kinds, like to make it legit. Like people didn't want that because SCA is really more like medieval kind of stuff. It's like you put on armor and you bash each other over the heads, right? Or you could be a light fighter, right? There's archers too, and there's you know, you can use pole arms and shit. Like there's light fighting and there's heavy fighting. Of course, all the big beer drinking motherfuckers were always, you know, wanted to do the heavy fighting, right? But so when people started like bringing out like Schlager blades with you know, for doing rapier combat, like they didn't want that element in the SCA back then, and so you had to jump through a lot of hoops to say, hey, this is actually period, you know, accurate, and these are the rules, and you had to really know something about the weapon and about that time, because like when I watch like right now when I watch because I was back in the day I was like stage combat certified, right? And so when I watch shows like Vikings, or I watch shows like even like there's a show called Outlander. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Outlander. But it's like the Scottish Highlands kind of thing. It happens in like the 1700s. It's basically a glorified romance story, but it's interesting for guys too, because there's actual fighting and there's like, it's still historical, so it kind of scratches that itch. But every time there's fighting with like Scottish claymores and shit like that, or there's they have the what are the bigger heavier swords that they have?
Landeshank from Swiss. The Landeshank.
No, not like that. Not like that. They were I want to say they were claymores, but they weren't claymores or something. There's another proper name for them. But like whenever I see them fighting with those things, I'm like, okay, if that guy got hit or even grazed or even touched with that weapon, he's going to be sick for the next like 6 weeks.
Yep.
Yes.
Because of the infection rate of everything that was going on. They didn't have modern medicine back then. So even if you got nicked or you just got like even a flesh cut, a flesh wound, right? You're probably going to die just from like the fever that you're going to get from that, right?
Yep.
But then they get they sew them back up and like, okay, I'm going to be all right. I'm like, not in that time period, you're not.
Yeah, I'm so amazed by it. If you look at the technology of the rapier.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the wound statistics and how it's actually formed.
That's why they had
all armor, because
that's why they had to.
The piercing puncturing is a far more devastating wound, and nothing could stand up to it. It was amazing. Free guns, of course, but dang.
Well, that's why they had to out. That's why like there was dueling got so crazy that so many people were dying from it that like they had in Western Europe the monarchies had to like outlaw it
right.
because too many people were dying.
I mean, just a 2-inch puncture, you're dead. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
I had fancied myself making some armor one time, and I spent 300 hours weaving my own chainmail. Oh my God, I would never do anything like that again.
I know, you'll lose your mind. I knew guys.
Experience ever. But I got
I
a
knew
chainmail
guys.
vest.
I knew guys in the SCA who would do that because there's all this craftsman stuff. The SCA, by the way, is not just like heavy fighting. It's like there's crafts and food and stuff. There's all kinds of other things that go on.
It's cool.
But yeah, and there's people who are armorers who actually make a good living off of that shit by making like chainmail and like functional armor so that the heavy fighters can actually go and do stuff.
Yeah, back to the Renaissance Fair. The attire, and if you have a little bit of game.
Oh, dude,
you can clean up.
Oh yeah, dude, that's why I got into it. Would you like me to tell you my Renaissance Fair stories?
Sometimes just having the name Thor is good enough.
I started doing Renaissance Fairs when I was like 19, and it was when I was going to Pasadena City College, right? And I started competitively fencing when I got into college, and the way that the fencing team would make money is they would go to Southern Fair down in Southern California, and I think it was Irvine, and so we would go there and we'd spend like because we were teaching and we we're making money. So it was kind of like a little job while we were there. So you'd be there for a full week, and you just go down there and just camp, and you pretend like you're somebody else. And dude, trust me, man, if you can't get laid at a fucking Renaissance Fair, you can't.
Oh yeah. Hey, you're old enough. Did you ever go to the Agora Hills one?
Yep. Yes.
That was a beautiful area, man.
I went to. My fairs were like Northern Fair and Southern Fair. I just went to the big ones, Yeah. And then there's some little minor ones, Fresno and San Jose and stuff like that. Yeah. That was in California side, so like there's other ones that were elsewhere too. But this is back in the day. I'm kind of like, I would probably love to get back into it, but I kind of lost my mojo to do that kind of shit because A, I don't have the time to do it, and then B, like when you go out there, like there's a Renaissance Fair for Vegas, right? But you go out there, and it might as well be the fantasy fair because it's like just another opportunity for these kids to go do cosplay. I'm like, that's not Renaissance, fuckhead.
Basically, a rave at the Renaissance Fair.
More or less, yeah. Well, it is, but it's like I think it's more of an opportunity for one extra opportunity for them to do cosplay and dress up like a fucking furry at a Renaissance Fair.
I do want to go to the EDC out there in Vegas. I think that might be.
That's next week, man.
Next week. Yeah, of course, I won't make it this time.
Come on. You don't want to drop some. You want to have a big old Molly orgy?
We could talk about it in private.
we had a chick. We had a chick on the show last night, and she's got it. I think said she was like 22 or 24 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Of course, she's an OnlyFans girl and everything, but like she was so mellow, she was so cool and everything, and then she started talking about like she's a raver. Right. And so her friends are all ravers and they're all talking about like how EDC is going to be so much fun this year and everything. And then she starts talking about Molly orgies.
Well,
I'm like, oh, really?
If you know anything about that, you definitely, the Molly was used in psychiatry very, very effectively in couples counseling. Mm-hmm. It kind of removes all that contempt and makes you feel good. You want to touch. The problem with it is you're kind of dressed up with nowhere to go. You feel all those feelings, but your body isn't responding.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting medical compound that was outlawed here, yet is still in wide use in other countries because it's efficaciousness in eliminating that contempt when, people are doing couples therapy. Found that interesting. Just a side note. Yeah. It's like, wow. Of course, something that's effective would totally be outlawed here.
Yeah.
Well, that's called our FDA.
Well, it's called keep them coming to the therapy sessions. Insurance, billable hours. Lord knows if somebody gets fixed and stops going to the system.
Mike, last night, well, Mike said this before, but Mike was we were talking about TRT last night.
Oh, were you?
On Access Vegas, and like Mike was saying, he was totally expects them to like outlaw TRT pretty soon.
Oh, they've got bills in committee. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they can't have guys getting too feisty at our age, right? I'm like,
yeah, and
I totally expect it now too. But it sucks. I mean, the guys are still going to find ways to get around that. It's just
of course.
Just
and here's the thing. I think we have one ace card that might not have been played there. Is 11 years ago that book came out. It's called The Secret Female Hormone by Dr. Cindy Maupin, and the impact of testosterone on females cannot be underrated. And it might even be expressed in the fact that women are so overweight now because of their loss of testosterone. It has a 12 to 17 times greater impact on their metabolism than a man, but not in the way you might think. It's the DHT that does the secondary sexualizing characteristic, but the health benefits are there. And a lot of these regen doctors know that for the women. So if the women catch on and actually start doing the hormone replacement, that might slow that banning down. Yeah. There's a whole lot more women interested in staying young and feeling good. And when they catch on that will help them. It's an interesting. We'll see if it ever does. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're talking about I guess I don't know why this even exists, but Alex Hormozy and that guy, something McGrath or something like that. I forget the guy's. One guy's natty, and Alex Hormozy, I guess, has done gear in the past, and so he was giving him shit about it, and they were talking about like how TRT is cheating or some shit like that. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here.
TRT is a replacement of a physical level of you at a youthful age. Because
at a younger age,
That's how's that cheating?
Well,
how's that not being smart?
Well, I also said, like right now I've got my glasses on. It's like, am I cheating, like doing this model right now because I have glasses on?
Exactly. Oh, you're not natural. Guess what? Death is a natural outcome too. Am I going to choose it? Hell no. I'm going to choose the other one.
You guys go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that really have to have a need to tear people down. And
I think it's more because I told Mike this last night. I said, honestly, I see this more as like intrasexual competition between guys, because you got a younger guy who says, "Oh man, that's cheating," and you're like somebody like Mike, and you're like 46 years old, and you're nailing your 22-year-old girlfriend, and you're on TRT, and it's like they see, a guy who's got his money and his means and still looks good and is still in shape and can still fuck, 22-year-old girls. Like, yeah, of course, I can totally understand. Like, oh, you didn't earn that. No, he fucking earned it. Yeah. And he's gonna, and as long as you guys don't keep up, he's gonna keep earning it.
Yeah, it's got to be an easy solution. It can't be that he just actually busted his ass and manipulated and formed his identity into this steel character that is conquering.
Well, I told him, like, just because you take TRT doesn't mean like muscles like magically sprout from your body. I mean, you have to you have to
do the work.
Yeah, you have to actually put the work in, man. And I mean, it got to be great if that was the way it worked, but it's like, no. I mean, so when people go like, "Oh, Rollo, you're so jacked," I go, "Yeah, well, it kind of helps that I work out with Hide now, 3 times a week." You want to talk about motivation? That dude's motivation.
Oh yeah. No, I know. I've known many men over the years that would see wanting to use hormones and PEDs as a way to do it, and when you saw the amount that they would take and then there's no progress, it's because they really rested all of their hopes on and their beliefs on the fact that if I did it, I would be like that without doing the work necessary and acquiring the discipline necessary.
Now, aren't there some dangers if you've got a pre-existing cardiac condition, though? I mean, if you've got a messed up heart, isn't there some danger to elevating your testosterone levels as far as...
I don't know.
Yes, I mean, in a secondary way, yes.
Okay.
And here's why. I've actually have a lot on this. And this is what was published in one study.
Okay.
And it did show a result. And what it was is that the problem I have with it, though, is by increasing testosterone, you can increase what's called red blood cell count and hematocrit, which thickens your blood.
Okay.
It's called polycythemia due to secondary hypogonadism and treatment with testosterone.
Okay.
This always seems to occur and be an impact in people that have pre-existing heart disease.
Okay.
Basically, they also give something to reduce estrogens, and it drives up lipids. And so you end up with hyperlipidemia as well. So now you've got hyperlipidemia, you've got thicker blood, and if you have pre-existing heart disease, that could be a problem.
Okay.
So you would need to really, the only thing is you'd have to be under a doctor that understands this and would prescribe like something like therapeutic phlebotomy, things like that, to make sure you have nice blood without using blood thinners and protect you while keeping your levels within physiologic ranges, normal physiologic ranges. And of course, you'd have to be addressing whatever pre-existing heart condition that you have. So
right, because I mean that obviously can vary from damage to clogged arteries to what have you. I mean, it varies from cardiac patient to cardiac patient.
Yeah, not everybody would need TRT anyway. I mean,
right.
Shoot, here we are. Somebody in the manosphere sees somebody do it, and it's like, that's the cure-all to everything. I'm going to sell it. It's like,
right.
Well, it's a tool that if you need it, it is critical and is life-changing for you. I mean, in a positive way.
Right.
If you don't need it, you could take it, and you're not gonna feel nothing if you're at regular levels. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all about the education and let the guys know. The FDA making it a Schedule 3 controlled substance, that was a move. Definitely they got really panicked when the baseball thing came out. Of course, that wasn't the primary substance that was being abused. It was growth hormone.
Right.
That was the one, which was kind of silly, but hey, it was that, and then something called halotestin, which is a synthetic, which is actually quite dangerous. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, they sure hit those balls, didn't they?
Yeah. And people were actually watching baseball. So
yeah. I like TRT UFC.
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember Pride? That wasn't even TRT. That was full on. Let's go. Yeah. But no, it could be very useful and helpful to people. You need doctors. I mean, and that's the only way I've ever worked with it too. It can be very beneficial to men and women. I'm surprised it hasn't gone on with women, even extremely low doses, because it's so useful to their psyche. And calms them down and gets them in a place where they don't put on as much fat. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not about curing the problem, but just talking about it. It's not about the nail, right, Rollo?
Not about the nail. No, they don't want to be cured. Like, that's another thing. I always get people telling me, like, "Oh, Rollo, do you think if we had a male form of birth control that it would be a game changer?" Well, yeah, but I'll guarantee you that they'll try to outlaw it in some way. Yeah. Some reason why you can't have it. We can get what, like streaming 4K video back from the surface of fucking Mars, but we can't find a way to make like a male birth control pill. Come on.
Oh, we do. The Vasogel works.
Yeah.
They just won't release it.
Yeah.
Won't release it?
No, they won't release it. It's an injection of the vas deferens tube, which is essentially a gel. That sits in there for a period of time.
Between men and women. come on, that was funny, sort of.
It was funny.
I love puns.
Yeah.
Puns are awesome.
They are.
Well, this is Masculine Geek.
No,
so-
no, they're not. Oh, God.
All right, so you're gonna get some brown pants. What?
I'm gonna see if I can drag Ryan into coming back to playing with us again. I actually kind of want to get I want to get Cappy to play with us again, but I don't know. Maybe we're too nerdy for him. We keep calling him gay. That's why he won't come back.
No. Well, that's one of my pastimes and hobbies. So
Yeah.
no, Aaron is very much so. Aaron's character Sled is him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he gets very upset and frustrated if you don't pick a goal quickly and get to it
And move.
and move. Like, you know how
I noticed the same thing in Ryan actually.
And Ryan's the same way.
action.
Like, these guys are just like they get D&D to a point, but they don't understand like some of the nuance that's fun in D&D, or there can be. But that's not fun for Aaron. He just wants to connive and kill and
Get
the
in,
goal.
get it done.
And get in, get it done. And I can appreciate that, but we're not that group.
Yeah.
We're just not
How
that
many
group.
licks to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Aaron wants 3.
Yeah. He's
the owl.
efficient,
He's the
Mr.
owl.
Efficiency. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's not. If I want efficiency, I'll go work at a corporation.
Right.
That's not. It's not D&D.
Or
It's like,
there's I think I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's impatient. That's just how he is, right?
oh no,
But,
yeah.
He's old guy. Like give me my fucking coffee
totally.
and give me my paper. And
Let's get to the end of the.
but yeah, exactly. And then I look at and when I do that, I try to have a good, when I'm running a game, I try to have a good balance between puzzle solving, plot, and just fucking smash mouth D&D, right?
Oh yeah, he does not care about puzzle solving.
No, he's all about smash mouth D&D. He just wants to go in and
Yeah.
kill something, and then that's it.
Yep.
You know what is kill monster, pick up check.
Basically, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like this video game mentality. I'm like, okay. I mean, I can do it up to an extent. I mean, I don't mind doing hack and slash. If you want to do, I'll tell you, if you want to do hack and slash, if you want to do hack and slash, tell me that ahead of time, and I'll play Dungeon Crawl Classics with you, and your ass will be dead in the first half hour.
No. I look at this as like a nice,
which can be fun, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. But
Just a play style.
I mean, to do like a one-off hack and slash, we can totally do that.
Yeah. I want to do another. I want to rematch with Jeffro.
Yeah.
I still thought that was pretty fun. I would love
that was great.
Again.
We could do that again.
We should use our same characters if we still have them. Put them in a different setting.
I wonder what he actually was supposed to do with them, because apparently he was originally going to use them
they kept going
as NPCs or whatever in their, primary
Trollopolis or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask James, because James plays with them.
Okay.
Oh, really?
He may have run into our characters at some point.
He just didn't know.
Yeah.
God. I would so love to have him in our campaign. I would love to have him play as a character, but I think Jeffro's always going to be a dungeon master.
Yeah, it's not. Well, you're kind of the same way, Rollo. You like to be the dungeon master.
I do, because I like the storytelling aspect, but I do like to play too. So, Thor coming into Jury's. Thor coming into to the
okay. We're not good enough. It's
maybe now's the time to come back. Yes.
Right.
I have time now too.
You dirty bastard.
All right.
I did it.
At least we'll get to chat. You keep saying you're coming, but you don't. But at least we can chat.
Well, like I said, I gotta have a. Trust me, I need a lot of reasons to be in fucking Los Angeles.
Yeah, no, it's all cool. I need to feel better too, because I'd rather it be a better time than me all sluggish and shit.
I was thinking about coming, because Mike did Babes in Toyland out in Los Angeles about 3 weeks ago, and I was thinking about doing it then. But then Yeah, it probably would have been a bad time. And then like I can't leave like Ned here like unattended.
Oh, speaking of Ned, how's he doing, man?
He got a bandage change today, and the last time he had X-rays, he's regrowing bone. So he's on the mend.
Or still a little open?
Oh no, his arm is, or like the open wound is completely closed now. It's just the re-break that happened after that has to, like, they were talking. The vets in Reno said they wanted to do a bone marrow transplant from his shoulder to that area. Yeah, that's what I said too. And I was all just about ready to say, yeah, let's do it. But I didn't want to travel with a dog that was like in pain from a fucking bone marrow transplant, right? And then we got to this place, like the place in Vegas. Like, this is the best place we could have come for Ned, because like we're going to this veterinary specialist place that's like probably like 10 minutes away from where I live. And that's all they do is like they help dogs with busted bones, you know. And I mean, they do surgery and oncology and stuff like that too. But it's like absolutely the best care he could. There's no way he would have got that in Reno. And I told them, I said, hey, they were talking about like, you know, a bone marrow transplant, and they looked at me like I was fucking crazy. I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad, because I certainly didn't want to pay the extra $3,700 to do that. But they said no. They said just let him heal, you know, naturally, and it's going to take a while, but he is on the mend, so it's just going to take a little while because they're delicate bones.
How old is Ned?
Ned's 6, so he's not even all that old, really. I mean, he's like a greyhound. He's like middle-aged for a greyhound, right? Greyhound lasts probably about 12 years. Unless they get osteo, and I don't think Ned will get osteo. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but most of our greyhounds get osteo, and but I've had 2 that didn't, and one of those dogs that didn't get it is actually like a genetic like brother or cousin of Ned. So he's from that same genetic line that my old dog Cubby, and Cubby never got it. So I'm kind of optimistic that like Ned won't get osteo. So I'm hoping that if he can like recover from this like before, you know, the middle of summer, he'll be in good shape. So, and then we'll get our personal injury settlement, and then we'll get all the money that we spent on him back in the fall all back. So.
Yeah, that'll be good.
What? I don't know details of that. Did you tell us details of that? What happened with the dog?
Well, Ned got attacked by a Rottweiler. I don't know if you guys know that, but he got attacked by a Rottweiler. My wife I was in Vegas at the time, and my wife was walking both of our greyhounds, and a Rottweiler just jumped up. She was on the Commons Trail, but she was close to where the Rottweiler was on its property, and so technically the attack happened like on close enough to the property that the insurance company, the homeowner's insurance company, would cover it. But the dog just basically started going, like most greyhounds, like they would rather run than fight, but every now and then you'll get one that likes to fight, and Ned likes to fight guy. So like Anna, our other greyhound, our female, she couldn't even get touched. My wife ended up breaking her finger trying to separate the dogs, but it was mostly Ned versus this Rottweiler that probably had a good 70 or 80 pounds on him. And if it had just been the bites, he'd be just fine right now. But in the middle of the fight, because the dog was so big, that's when it broke Ned's leg. It didn't like bite his leg and break his leg. It was just because of the twisting and the spinning and the fighting it snapped his leg, right? And my wife thought he was going to die right then and there, you know, because she's, you know, and then the stupid ass homeowner, like we got the dog from we got the county, and the animal control designated the dog as a dangerous animal. Like we had to, like my wife had to go through a hearing, like a court hearing kind of thing. And so once the dog was designated as a dangerous animal, we already won the case. So like for the settlement case against the homeowner's insurance, like it's already there. So right now it's just like, how much money are we going to get? You know, what's the settlement going to end up being? What does it top out at? So we have a personal injury attorney here in Vegas that is handling the case, and they're supposed to be getting back to us like the middle of this month to let us know what the dispensation will end up being. So that's where we are with the case. But as far as Ned is concerned, I mean, he's got probably close to like $18,000, $20,000 in like medical bills, and I am an insurance company's worst nightmare in that to that effect, because most people wouldn't be able to afford to keep their dog alive,
right?
Doing that, and I can. So I did, and the sum total is at least 20 grand. And that's not punitive damages. That's not her walking away from the fucking scene, and that's not like there's a lot of other stuff that goes along with it that I didn't even know was possible. But we got a pretty good attorney, and we're supposed to be hearing back from him pretty soon. We'll find, at the very least, I'll get the money back for what I put into it. So
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of getting another dog. Wife didn't hip on it, but we'll see. You never know. Another 4-pounder.
Shaking pistol.
Dogs are good though.
I absolutely love mine. I am 10, 15 years, whatever I end up getting with him is not going to be enough time.
Yeah.
He's
my little girl lasted 19 and it wasn't enough.
Yeah. The mother of my youngest and I were talking one day, and she was like, she really loved her dog when she was a little girl, and she thought, it would be good for our son to have a dog. And I'm like, yeah, I have no problem with that whatsoever. I think there are a lot of positive things you can get out of a relationship with a dog, and responsibilities and so on and so forth. And I'm like, yeah, I have no objections to it. If you want to buy our kid a dog, you can. I'm not gonna. Yeah. No issues. So she had a friend who bred golden doodles. And
dogs.
Yeah, and so we got to see that litter of pups born, and there was one pup who had a green collar, and that's my youngest son's favorite color. So he was like, that's the one I kind of like. And I'm watching the dog, and whereas the rest of his litter mates were very much together as a pack and did things together and ventured off together and played together, he would wander off on his own and kind of do his own thing, and then sneak up on the breeder and then like bite her on the foot and bite her toes, and
like,
had kind of an ornery streak. He was also the biggest of his litter. I think his trying to remember, I think he was around 11 ounces. The rest of the litter was right around 8, and the runt was like 6. So he was the biggest one in the litter. And so that's the one we said we wanted. That's the one we ended up getting. And so he was to be my youngest son's dog. That dog imprinted on me so strongly that it doesn't matter that he's here with anyone else. If I am gone for the day, like, I'm away working all Sunday, he is laying behind the couch pouting, waiting for me to come home.
Yep.
And anyone else tries to give me hugs and kisses, he is right up in the middle of them. Like, what the hell are you doing messing with him? And I literally, I have never had any living creature love me as much as this dog. I mean, it is just not my mother, not either of my ex-wives, and it's just pure, unadulterated affection and loyalty, and it's like he's my best bud.
Yeah, and there's something special about dogs, man.
There's a reason they are called man's best friend.
Something very esoteric about it too. I mean, I could tell you a story how I got the girl that lasted 19. She's a little 4-pound purebred Chihuahua, but I went to drop off packages to an online retail business that I was running for the wife, and next door was a pet shop, and I saw a 1.5 pound Chihuahua in there. She was $900, and I'm like, I'm going to get her. I didn't have my credit card. Went home, told the wife. She said, no, you're not doing it. Had a big argument. The next day I said, fuck that, and I grabbed the credit card and I went over to buy the dog. Somebody bought the dog. Yep. My adult son came for a visit 30 days later and said, Dad, look at the dog I bought.
Oh, damn. That's awesome.
And it's the dog.
It was that dog.
Wow.
3 months later, he gave me the dog for Christmas. Can you believe that? There's something esoteric about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an amazing coincidence.
Well, it was funny. My two of my older boys were over. One of which is in his 30s, the other one's in his 20s, and the three of my four sons were in the kitchen talking amongst themselves. And I was doing something with the dog, and I was talking to the dog, and the dog's all happy, and his tail's wagging, and he's like in glory. And all of a sudden, I hear one of my older boys go, "Oh my God, Dad knows how to baby talk." And it's like, I have never heard Dad baby talk, and it's like,
wow.
So they're like, they're like going back and forth, and they're totally convinced it's like Dad loves the dog more than us, and I'm like, no. That's not it.
I just like it more than you.
It's well, one, the dog is a dog. So even as smart of a breed as poodles and golden retrievers are, and the hybrid of the two, they are still dogs. They understand tone and inflection and things like that. So you talk to them a certain way. And two, you guys are my sons. I love you unconditionally, but I have certain expectations for you, and I have certain responsibilities. And while I enjoy being friends with you and watching movies with you guys and hanging out with you guys and spending times, you're always my sons, and I am always your dad. And there's a gulf there that just that doesn't go away. And the dog is not my son. The dog is my friend. And that's just different. And it's just, we're bros, and that's all there is to it. So it's just a different kind of relationship. But yeah, my sons are like, gosh, that's a lot nicer to the dog than he is to us. But I mean, you guys that are dads know what I'm talking about. It's different. Although I don't know, I have sons, not daughters. So, that's something, Rollo, I would like to sometime, if you ever do a show with dads, as far as whether it's like, being a dad with a red pillow wearer dad and whatever, I would like to hear your take on how it's different raising daughters and sons, because it's just, I don't know. If I had daughters, I would try to raise them as defective boys. Basically, it's like, no crying in baseball. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean?
I kind of wrote about that. I wrote about that in Positive Masculinity, actually.
That's the third book, right?
Yeah, the third book, actually, because I had so many people saying, Rollo, when should I give my son the rational male? I'm like, I don't know. Does he like to read?
Yeah.
And so, I had all these people, like all these guys who wanted to, they were like, oh man, I wish I would have known all this stuff before, before all these bad things happened to me. And then they're like, I'm going to give my son the rational male before he's 18 so he doesn't make the same mistakes I did. And then I'm like, man, it seems like there's a need for this subject, right? So the first 2/3 of my third book is it's Positive Masculinity, and it's about red pill parenting. So, and there is a chapter in there about daughters too.
Awesome. Okay.
It's very good.
Yeah. All right, guys, I gotta roll. I gotta go get some food. So I will see you guys.
All right, see you on Wednesday.
It's good hanging with you. All right, brother.
Yeah, see you for the game, Rollo.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I've raised 3 boys and a daughter as well, and I have 13 grandchildren. So one thing I would say is you have to demonstrate, don't explicate.
Yes.
And as masculine as you can be for those boys as you guide them, it actually works the same for the daughters too. The more masculine you are, the more feminine she becomes. Especially if you have a mom that can express an elegant feminine innocence. For her to aspire to. And have some sort of groundwork. And the biggest challenge with the daughters is influence of others, influence of media, influence of others that are going to erode whatever foundations you're giving them. And that works with your sons too,
right?
So, you kind of have, just like Rollo said, you got a burden of performance that is ongoing, and you have to maintain that identity throughout your life. It's the only way.
Well, I'd always noticed having. I had one sister who is 17 years younger than me, and I've got another sister that is a year and about 21 days younger than I am. And I noticed, just growing up, I could care less what most anyone else thought about me. I was too busy doing my own thing in my own world, with my own interests, that the social peer dynamic thing in school just wasn't. I played D&D in school, I was a nerd, geek, whatever, toy collector in school. So, I just didn't care. Even though I did play some sports. I ran track and played basketball in junior high and stuff like that, grade school and junior high. But my sister, everything was about that social pressure and dynamic, which I think is true for most females, really,
Yeah.
So I imagine that would be a thing that it would be hard for me to I guess I would try to understand and be empathetic to, a daughter upset or dealing with stuff like that at school, but it's kind of it's hard for me to conceptualize. It's like, why would you care? And even with my boys, I've always tried to explain to them, and I've had one of my sons come back to me saying, yeah, he really kind of gets that now, that when I would tell him that, as his father and even his mother, we love you. We would never purposefully give you bad advice or put you in a situation where you would be harmed or damaged in some way. That's not necessarily true for the kids at school. So when you're judging things as far as giving weight to opinions, my opinion should weigh heavier than some dude at school that you've only known for 6 months or whatever. And the one that's now in his 20s is like, yeah, the older I get, the more I understand how accurate that assessment was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks definitely could use some help in that area, but I think we overcomplicate it too sometimes.
Yeah.
Just having observed, the best thing you can do is to, as a father, is be that you do not have to be ever present either.
Right.
You just have to have that dominant masculine presence and have it congruent. And they pick up on it. So daughters do so much better than even the boys do. The boys, they got to get challenged. They have to become, they have to have the rites of passage. The daughters hone in on that right away. Hence the reason when there is no father present, problems exist.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to have to jet too, just because it's a medication time for me, which I'm going to enjoy thoroughly.
I wish I could believe you on the medication enjoyment part, but
no.
Thor, it is good talking to you again. I've only ever met you once on one of the Red Mornings or something like that on Rollo, but it's looking forward to gaming with you. So
absolutely, me too. I'm looking forward to that kind of distraction and definitely enjoyment. AJ,
it'll be fun.
You're gonna have a good show tomorrow, so we're gonna have a good show. And appreciate you guys, Vince. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, you're welcome anytime.
Thanks, guys.
And we look forward to having you join Drew's game as well.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Talk to you soon.
All right, catch you later. Good night. We'll call it a night soon, too. If you have any questions for us in the chat, feel free to post them. Gaming, painting, or otherwise. Well, commercialized Warhammer went woke as far as the company is concerned. But the diehard players are not. You're muted, AJ.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's right.
Yeah, apparently, BlackRock and Vanguard like bought a third of them all on the Custodes thing.
They forced the DI whatever crap.
The ESG bucks.
ESG, whatever the hell it's called now.
Another rumor is Amazon wants to buy Games Workshop from those two.
Yes, AJ is still with us. Apparently, Robert and I are chopped liver. They're here to see AJ and Thor.
Siege D is one of Glenn's people, I think.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't recognize the name. Well, welcome, just the same.
I know he watches the Dragon Ship. So.
Oh, okay. How's that going, by the way?
Oh, it's going good. I'm hosting tomorrow. We're talking about Frame, how to approach it from being single, and if you're in a LTR, how it's different.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, is the go plan still the same as the stay plan?
Gotcha. Who are the other guys? We are Masculine Geek. There's actually 3, but TJ does not partake in the painting. At least not yet. He may in the future. This is the Masculine Geek channel. Check us out on YouTube because you're actually coming to us through Thor's channel. He's still broadcasting even though he dropped off. Yeah, so check us out there and you'll find out what we're all about. But Thor will be playing with us our Advanced Dungeons & Dragons live stream game with Drew Bay as our Dungeon Master. Rollo's game will be next Wednesday, 9 p.m. We broadcast on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. But welcome to all the YouTube handles and people in the chat that I do not know. I think that's it for me. I'm gonna let these dry. I got the red cloak on him. Base color. I got his boots and a bit of his armor done.
I'm just using one of these small guys for practice.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like one of the guys that I have like 20 in a kit to make.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I'm not gonna make 20 of them, but there's 20 I can ruin.
Yeah, you've got exactly. Good practice figurines.
Yeah.
Yes, Siege D. Rollo will occasionally mention the live stream AD&D games and such.
I try to keep everyone informed on Dragon Ship whenever I come on with you guys, and actually all the stuff that you're doing most of the time.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for the shout out then. That's always helpful. Yeah, we picked up on my phone. We picked up at least 20 new subscribers.
Awesome.
The past couple days because I guess you guys. So I appreciate that. Thank you. You go subscribe, CHD. Masculine Geek on YouTube. You definitely want to watch the games. I would say not sit there and stare at the screen, but listen to them. They're fun.
Oh yeah.
They're one of the few broadcasts. Even it's my own broadcast, our own broadcast, but it's one of the few that I'll go back and listen to.
Oh, so the actual sled in Drew Bay's campaign is the sled from that Aaron played from Rollo's campaign.
Yeah.
Well, sled goes back further than that. So, an old friend of mine, John, we had a sort of a geek channel called Legend of Tabletop. He still runs it. I've since dropped off, but we ran live stream games with my buddies that I run games with around the table now, plus John, who's out in Arizona, and then Aaron, obviously where he's at. And we used to use webcams, and they would see the table and all the maps and such through the webcam. And he got his start with us with Sled, and that's been his character for every iteration, whether we played live around the tabletop with Aaron, on these live streams, or on the Legends of Tabletop games. So it's been pretty crazy. Oh, thank you, CGD. Howdy, geeks. Indeed we are. But yeah, we're gonna do a lot. No, I'd say a lot more, but a few more of these live stream painting sessions, which will almost always happen on a Friday night, beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, yep.
Yeah, AJ was promoting the show on Twitter earlier today, which is how Mictubus, or Mictubus, as Rob says it, was talking about the fact that we'd be painting dolls tonight. So that's why I decided, I
had paint his mom tonight.
Yeah, I had stuff to paint.
That's right.
As far as like various Klingon ships and stuff for Starfleet battles, and the original Star Trek RPG, but plus I got BattleTech miniatures and everything else.
BattleTech mechs are fun to paint.
Yes, they are. But I decided I had some of these bootleg Saint Seiya kits from China that I wanted to mess around with, because I haven't. They, quality-wise, are not a whole lot different than the Japanese, although the packaging's different. It would not surprise me if some of the same people in the same Chinese factories that make the official product for Bandai work on these unofficial products from China. But they are much less expensive to collect, and while I will always collect the main authentic original product, I like the idea of having these less expensive versions to display. So that's cool. What I decided. I've been wanting to play with some of my toys for a while, and I have not had time just because I've been so bloody busy. So
it's good when you can schedule toy and paint sessions. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I did.
Cool. And this is official Dungeons and Dragons music playing in the background. It's from a box set in the early 90s called Red Steel. And there were 2 or 3 box sets. I have 2. And each one came with an orchestrated soundtrack. Yeah, very good. This one that you're listening to now is called The Travelers. One of my favorites is, which I usually run when there's several. I'll do it's called The Battle, when we're battling, obviously. And then there's one called Stormy Seas, if we're doing a sea encounter. Mm-hmm. My favorite one is Into the Dungeon, and I'll play that a little louder. I just had that on a loop. Back in the early 90s when this did come out, I copied it over to a cassette and then re-recorded it one after another, so it would play for, half hour, 45 minutes, and then I would just rewind and play it again. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like stuff like that sets an ambiance. The lighting, we would play by lamplight and candlelight. Have the map set out. This is before all internet and webcams and live streams and such. I mean, that's a way to play. If you can play, if you can find a good group of guys to gather around the tabletop, there's nothing like it. The camaraderie, the jokes. You grab food and drink, and you play for a couple hours. And I remember some of the all-night D&D games we'd have in the late 80s, early 90s. It would just last for hours upon hours. And we'd stop and we'd have food. We'd get some pizza. Yes, there is the Cheetos and the Doritos and the Mountain Dew and the Pepsi. And if we're playing real late overnight, we get the coffee. And the occasional alcoholic drink, which is good. But yeah, those are good times. In fact, I have several VH tape recordings of those sessions, which is I like to go back and watch. I have to go back and get them digitized. Maybe share some of them on the Masculine Geek YouTube.
Edit and upload.
Yeah, do like a premiere upload, and I'll upload. I would keep them at about a half an hour, and do part 1, part 2.
Cool.
Yeah, that might be fun.
First time I ever played was tabletop, so
that's the way to do it. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, stuff like this is great.
Especially if you're in areas that you can't find a good group, and you just get to watch some guys who are actually based play.
Right, exactly. All right, CGD, we've got a broadcast tomorrow ourselves at 2 p.m. Eastern, but if you guys are on the Dragon ship, is what, in the morning?
We're at 12:30 Central, so it'll be 1:30 your time.
All right, so I can hop on for a little bit, but I can go back and watch, which is not a problem. But we have a 2 p.m. interview. A live interview. So, but thank you for the invite, and I'll catch you next time. And yeah, stop by. So next Wednesday is Rollo's AD&D game. Stop by for that. Yeah, the chat is chatty tonight, which is good. That's right, Chris. I'll keep you guys posted on the live stream painting sessions for sure. Keep an eye out on Instagram, the Masculine Geek newsletter, and the community tab on the Masculine Geek YouTube channel. And obviously the channel itself will have it listed. But every once in a while, well, actually more than every once in a while, there's a lot of channels that I follow that even if I don't watch, it's nice to know what they're, broadcasting here and there. I don't get the alerts whatsoever. So if you're really interested in following a channel, it's always good to check in occasionally, actually going to the channel and checking out the upcoming streams and such. I'll stop by for a little bit before our show. Let's see what other music we got going here.
I think after the Dragon ship tomorrow, I'm going to be driving down to Austin just to get to Los Pollos Hermanos.
Oh, yeah?
Because there's one of them, the restaurant from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one of them in Austin.
Oh, okay. No, that'd be cool. This one's called Suspense. That's a good one. And then there's the Dread Forest. And then this one's good to play when you're fighting. It's called The Battle. For obvious reasons.
Look at that sword in the back.
Yeah, the sword fighting. Yep.
Yeah,
It's very cool. The production value is very good. I was pleasantly surprised when I first listened to it, and very pleased. So, all right, gentlemen. I think I'm going to call it. It's a little after 11. I've got a busy day tomorrow, and Robert's got to take care of stuff before he hops on our live stream as well.
Yes, providing I don't have a delay in that. There's some problems at work, so there is a chance I may have to miss tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. Weekends are always a little bit iffy because that's usually when I'm also trying to do family stuff too, but I've got work and everything else baying at the door, so fortunately...
Yeah. No, I understand.
Fortunately, TJ will be there to cover things tomorrow since he's not here tonight. So, worst case scenario, it should still be a very good show tomorrow. So, anyone in the chat who's available tomorrow afternoon, I'd recommend hopping on because we got a really good guest coming on. So,
yeah, Hans Kamen is cool.
I'll listen to it on my drive down.
All right, cool. Thank you for you give us some crap in the chat. Yeah, some questions and whatnot. All right. If there's no other questions in the chat for us, we're going to sign off. Let me shut down this music. There we go. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Robert, for being here as well.
Thank you.
Of course. Skull Viking Paradigm. Good to see some new see in quotes faces in the as it were in the chat. Some cool people. Yeah, so tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern we've got our interview and just kind of hanging out with Hans Kamen. World traveler, bicyclist, author, loves women, master seducer, as it were. In fact, he wrote a book called The Way of the Seducer. He's a cool dude to hang out and chat with. He's going to be talking about, we're just talking about one of our favorite subjects, women, but he's going to be going over some international dating stories and what he's been doing and adventures he's been having. So that'll be fun. Always a good time with Hans. And then next Wednesday, the 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will have Rollo back on as the Rational DM for our live stream one of our live stream AD&D games. So, all right, let me cue up our outro music, and away we go. Enjoy your weekends, gentlemen.
You too, man.
Thank you, sir.
Aaron Clark's gay.
Welcome to Masculine Geek, where men gather to discuss life, love, and all things geek. And unlike most YouTube channels, we don't beg for super chats. We don't play cutesy little sound bites. That crap is lame and feminine. We're men swapping notes and gathering together for men talk. We don't whine about politics or trendy red meat topics. That's juvenile 13th grade garbage. Masculine geeks are men of courage and honor that gather together to discuss our hobbies and interests. Get on board, gentlemen.